This video will show the process of how to commission a Nucleus control box. It will also be covering some of the basic functions of the controller. The Nucleus digitally controlled mixing valve consists of an electronics box that is simplistic in design and has a user interface that is intuitive. The Nucleus controller shown here has a graphical representation of a typical plumbing system, where a digital thermostatic mixing valve provides mixed hot water to the plumbing system. At key locations on the diagram, there are 6 LED indicators that provide system status, either within range, green, or out of range, red, and they are as follows. Inlet hot water pressure, P1. Inlet hot water temperature, T1. Inlet cold water pressure, P2. Inlet cold water temperature, T2. Mixed water temperature sensor, T3. And return water temperature sensor, T4. The controller uses a 2-line 16-character LED digital display screen which serves as the user interface by utilizing a simple 3-button keypad interface. Up for back, down for forward, and enter for selection. On initial power up, the valve will go through a full sweep function which moves the motor its full travel, end to end of hot and cold ports of the valve body. This process assigns a numerical value to the distance traveled by the motor in steps that will be used in future comparisons to indicate if there is a potential maintenance problem or internal mechanical issue with the components of the valve. Nucleus digitally controlled mixing valve commissioning. The commissioning menu on the Nucleus digitally controlled mixing valve is entered by pressing a sequence of keys on the keypad as a protected step, as this requires the end user to be aware of potential changes to the programming and the subsequent associated potential risk to users downstream of the device. Warning: you are about to enter commissioning menu of the Nucleus digitally controlled mixing valve, and adjustments to the mixing valve may result in severe burns, injury, and/or death to users downstream of the device if proper safety precautions are not adhered to. Commissioning the digital mixing valve. To enter the commission menu via the panel, push the keys in the following sequence: up, down, enter. Now in commissioning mode, use the up or down keys to scroll through the various adjustable parameters and set points. At each screen, pressing the enter key causes the default value to flash, and the value shown can now be changed using the up or down keys. Once the desired value is displayed, pressing enter locks in the new value. Once all desired values have been entered, scroll to the save screen using the up or down keys and press enter. To commit and save, use the up or down keys, scroll to Y, and press enter. The values are now saved. The screen should now display the current and set point temperatures, and the panel will begin to indicate if any conditions are in error or alarm state. Commissioning menu screen 1, 5-volt motor. The initial screen in the commissioning menu is asking whether or not the motor installed is a 5-volt motor. If the motor is 5 volts, choose yes. If the motor installed is a 12-volt, select no. The majority of motors supplied are 5 volts. Commissioning menu screen 2, temperature scale. Pressing down one time displays temperature scale. This menu requests the scale of temperature measurement in F, Fahrenheit, or C, Celsius. Commissioning menu screen 3, minimum system temperature. Pressing down 2 times displays min temp. This is minimum alarm temperature as measured on the primary outlet temperature sensor of the Nucleus mixing valve RTD T3. Measured values below this value will cause an alarm condition that will switch a relay to normally opened. See O&M manual for the alarm relay detail. Default value is 65 degrees Fahrenheit. Commissioning menu screen 4, maximum outlet temperature. Pressing down 3 times displays max temp. This is maximum alarm temperature as measured on the primary outlet temperature sensor of the Nucleus mixing valve RTD T3. Measured values above this value will cause an alarm condition that will switch a relay to normally opened. See O&M manual for the alarm relay details. Default value is 130 degrees Fahrenheit. Commissioning menu screen 5, error time to make live. Pressing down 4 times displays error TTML. This indicates the time to make live, which is an elapsed time in seconds as to when an actual error will be identified by the processor and then subsequently recognized as a true error and displayed on the LCD screen. In this example, a low inlet supply pressure error is shown. The error must exist for at least this minimum time before being considered a true error. The default value is 15 seconds. Commissioning menu screen 6. Error, time to live. Pressing down 5 times displays error TTL. This indicates time to live, which is a time in seconds and starts as soon as the error time to make live has elapsed. An error that exists past both TTML and TTL will require user recognition to clear error from screen by pressing Enter. If the problem corrects itself during the elapsing TTL time, the error will be automatically removed from the display on the user interface and therefore does not exist in memory. Default time is 60 seconds. Commissioning menu screen 7. Auxiliary flow sensor number 2. Pressing down 6 times displays AUX2 flow, no or yes. This indicates whether or not the configurable auxiliary channel, if utilized, is a second flow meter or a third pressure sensor supplied with the Nucleus unit. Select Y if a flow meter is used or N if a pressure sensor is used. See the Nucleus O&M manual for proper wiring configuration. Commissioning menu screen 8. Shuttle full sweep. Pressing down 7 times displays commissioning full sweep, no or yes. This feature allows the user to manually sweep the shuttle inside the main valve body from full hot to full cold position in order to verify mechanical integrity of the device and verify that the valve is traveling the entire range of its expected travel or operating range. To initiate a full sweep, press Enter and change the flashing value to Y and press Enter to confirm. Commissioning menu screens 9 through 16. Minimum and maximum alarm temperatures for temperature sensors number 5 through 8. Note, there are 4 additional RTD temperature probe provisions, T5 through T8, if the Nucleus is equipped with an optional daughter board. If no daughter board is installed, these menu screens can be skipped. Pressing down between 8 and 15 times displays commissioning temp min or max. This is the minimum or maximum temperature for RTD probes T5 through T8. Any temperature below this minimum temperature setting or above the maximum temperature settings will trigger an error message for that particular sensor. Default minimum setting is 32 degrees Fahrenheit. Default maximum setting is 185 degrees Fahrenheit. Commissioning menu screen 17. Thermal disinfection. Pressing down 16 times displays commissioning disinfect, no or yes. Warning: before this mode is engaged, an authorized user must be aware of the potential risks to end users downstream of this device, and must also make provisions to put safety measures in place during the disinfection stage to ensure user safety. Severe burns, severe injury, and/or even death may occur if such provisions are not in place when selecting Y on this menu. Before a disinfection cycle is initiated, the min and max settings must be changed to accommodate higher outlet temperatures. Min setting should be set to the minimum desired disinfection temperature. The max setting should be changed to the maximum desired disinfection temperature. After the first minute of disinfection, an error will be triggered if the outlet temperature is below the min or above the max settings, which will automatically end the cycle. Once Y is chosen, the authorized user will then be prompted to enter the desired disinfection time. Adjustable in 15-minute increments up to 12 hours. Choose the desired time and press Enter to start the timer. Extreme care must be taken during the disinfection process. Disinfection can be canceled at any time by pressing the Enter key. Once the disinfection cycle has ended, the valve will enter cool-down mode and go back to its last position before disinfection was engaged. The screen will display the current outlet temperature. Cool-down can be a lengthy process, as water will need time to cool via radiation. Provisions should be made to manually dump water from the loop if a faster cool-down time is desired. The controller will display the min commissioning screen setting once the cool-down is complete. Change the min and max parameters to their previous values if the system disinfection has been adequately implemented. Commissioning menu screen 18. Manually adjust motor. Pressing down 17 times displays commissioning adjust motor no or yes. This feature allows the user to manually move the motor to ensure that it is mechanically connected, mechanically sound, and moving properly with no mechanical binding. When Y is selected, the motor position is only being controlled by the authorized user, and the screen will display the current position of the motor. Pressing up will move the shuttle to allow more hot water into the valve, while pressing down will move the shuttle to allow more cold water into the valve. To exit this mode, press the Enter key. Once this mode has been exited, the value will revert back to its standard operation. Commissioning menu screen 19. Erase commissioned settings. Pressing down 18 times displays Commissioning Erase, EEPROM, No or Yes. This feature allows for the user to erase the electrically erasable programmable read-only memory. Entering Y will decommission the controller and return it back to factory settings. Once decommissioned, the controller will no longer display or send errors to the building management system, and alarms will no longer be triggered. These features will be inactive until the controller is recommissioned. Commissioning menu screen 20. Save commissioned values. Pressing down 19 times displays Commissioning Save No or Yes. If selecting Y, this feature will save all commissioning menu settings if they have been altered. Selecting N will not save any altered values and will not commission the controller if it has not been commissioned. Selecting N will also exit commissioning mode, and the home screen will then be displayed. Commissioning menu screen 21. Exit commissioning mode. Pressing down 20 times displays Commissioning Exit, No or Yes. This feature will allow users to exit the commissioning menu or continue. Selecting Y will exit commissioning mode without saving any changes made to the commissioning values. Selecting N will keep the control box in the commissioning menu. Real-time data screens. Current outlet temperature and set point temperature. On the home screen and after the initial full sweep, the digital display indicates the current measured temperature on the mixed outlet of the valve T3 and shows the set point temperature on the line below. Note: a large negative value displayed at the current temp line indicates the sensor is damaged or not properly wired to the main control board. Temperature is easily adjusted by pressing the Enter key and pressing the up and down keys to adjust temperature up or down. When the desired value is reached, pressing the Enter key will store the new set point temperature the valve will target, and a message stating that the set point has been saved will be displayed. If no new temperature is saved, the screen display will revert back to the home screen after approximately 10 seconds, and the set point will remain unchanged. Standard menu, Operations. Pressing either the up or down keys will allow a user to scroll through other data points, features, and options of the valve, and will show the following screens and features in order. Menu Screen 1. Inlet Hot Water Temperature. Pressing down one time displays Hot Temp, F or C. This screen displays actual hot water inlet supply temperature as measured at RTD T1 if the Nucleus is so equipped with the optional inlet temperature sensors. Note: a large negative value displayed at the hot temp line is an indication that there is no sensor installed to the main control board, or the wiring to the main board is improper, or the sensor is damaged. Menu Screen 2. Inlet Cold Water Temperature. Pressing down 2 times displays Cold Temp, F or C. This screen displays actual cold water inlet supply temperature as measured at RTD T2 if the Nucleus is so equipped with the optional inlet temperature sensors. Note: a large negative value displayed at the cold temp line is an indication that there is no sensor installed to the main control board, or the wiring to the main board is improper or the sensor is damaged. Menu Screen 3. Return Water Temperature. Pressing down 3 times displays Return Temp, F or C. This screen displays actual return water temperature if the Nucleus is equipped with the optional return temperature RTD value as measured on T4. Note: a large negative value displayed at the return temp line is an indication that there is no sensor installed to the main control board, or the wiring to the main board is improper or the sensor is damaged. Menu Screen 4. Inlet hot water pressure. Pressing down 4 times displays hot PSI. This is a measurement of the inlet hot water supply pressure, PSI, available to the mixing valve if the nucleus is so equipped with the optional pressure sensor, P1. Note: a large negative value displayed at the hot PSI line is an indication that there is no sensor installed to the main control board, or the wiring to the main board is improper or the sensor is damaged. Menu screen 5. Inlet cold water pressure. Pressing down 5 times displays cold PSI. This indicates of the inlet cold water supply pressure, PSI, available to the mixing valve if the nucleus is so equipped with the optional pressure sensor, P2. Note: a large negative value displayed at the cold PSI line is an indication that there is no sensor installed to the main control board, or the wiring to the main board is improper or the sensor is damaged. Menu screen 6. Optional daughter board. Pressing down 6 times displays daughter board no or yes. This screen indicates whether or not the control box is equipped with a daughter board, which is an add-on optional circuit board for the following additional equipment and capabilities: 4 additional temperature probes, RTDs, T5 through T8, 2 flow meters, F1 and F2, and/or 1 additional pressure sensor, P3, which are standard 4 to 20 milliamp inputs. See O&M manual for details regarding daughter board. Note: if N is showing for daughter board, there will be no additional support screens. Menu screens 7 to 10. Optional temperatures probes, T5 through T8. Pressing down between 7 to 10 times displays Temp, 5, 8, F or C. This indicates and displays actual temperature as measured on RTD, T5 through T8, if the nucleus is so equipped with the optional temperature sensors. Note: a large negative value displayed line is an indication that there is no sensor installed to the daughter board, or the wiring to the main board is improper or the sensor is damaged. Menu screen 11. Optional flow sensor, F1. Pressing down 11 times displays flow 1. This indicates and displays actual flow in GPM on flow channel 1 for the optional daughter board. See O&M manual for wiring setup. Note: a large negative value displayed at the flow 1 line is an indication that there is no sensor installed to the main control board, or the wiring to the main board is improper or the sensor is damaged. Menu screen 12. Additional optional flow sensor, F2, or optional pressure sensor input channel, P3. Pressing down 12 times displays flow 2 or PSI 3. This indicates and displays actual flow in GPM on flow channel 2 for the optional daughter board. If this input was commissioned as a third pressure sensor, the screen will display the pressure P3. See O&M manual for wiring setup. Note: a large negative value displayed at the flow 2 or PS3 line is an indication that there is no sensor installed to the main control board, or the wiring to the main board is improper or the sensor is damaged. Menu screen 13. Main power supply. Pressing down 13 times displays power. This indicates the input supply voltage to the main control board, volts DC, and should always be at least 12 volts DC. Menu screen 14. Backup uninterruptible power supply. Pressing down 14 times displays UPS. If the nucleus is equipped with an uninterruptible power supply for standby operation in the event of power loss, and there is a loss of primary power to the device, there will be a numerical value in this field, and it should be always at least 12 volts DC. Menu screen 15. Building Management System Module. Pressing down 15 times displays BMS connected, no or yes. In order for this to be Y or yes, the control box needs the following conditions. The Leonard supplied processor needs to be installed on the main printed circuit board. This screen confirms that the protocol converter is communicating with the main PCB. If N is displayed and a processor is connected, make sure the module is installed properly. Menu screen 16. Firmware Revision. Pressing down 16 times displays Firmware Revision. This screen shows the current version of firmware loaded into the Nucleus processor. It may be used for reference and troubleshooting. Home screen. current outlet temperature and set point temperature. Pressing down 17 times displays current temp, F or C. The user is returned to the home screen, which displays the current temperature as measured on valve outlet T3 and the set point temperature on the line below. Note: a large negative value displayed at the cur temp line indicates the sensor is damaged or not properly wired to the main control board. Pressing the up key will reverse the order previously shown and allow the user to scroll through the above menu items in reverse order. For more information, please call Leonard Valve Company at 800-222-1208 or visit our website at www.leonardvalve.com.